Olobagide Nagaland government bra 147 assistant professors aro librarians kunkange contract bra lushim takinge regularize kuri dibule order digna protest pishu hua piche government bra order wapas lulushe kindu idabi idu corruption laga khilaf larai kuriado kodom hua nai aji kohimari idu laga obor ekta public dialogue thagishe kude jania mania personalities kan ahina kotha kurishe idu bishi khanda julia public dialogue tu Nagaland hoi thaka mamla khan alag nohilbi corruption obor bishi kotha kurishe C10 convener mission lokat pra ekta gwado Nagaland public service commission daga system do bishi purana hoise aro update kurubule lagi ase gushe dialogue debi jani baishi gi sarkar logote poisa ase idu nimide court case kandu government pra jiti jai social activists aro politician GB Kahudo chishi bra idu homoy kushe government pra iku najani na kuria laga nai aro leaders kan tribalism chulagina manu laga rights chini loi tai hudishe government pra 147 kan ge regular kuribule parile kinimite post kan requisition kurbule na parbo social activists niketu iralu bra idu homoy kushe state day ekta dangor aro itihasik hoise Dr. GT Tong Prakushe Higher Education Minister Timjen Imna Alonge Hatagina Bishi qualified Tagamanuge Talibule Lage.
I'm very heartened that our NQF and CTN are fighting. But I have no faith in our elected leaders and in our people. This is a fact. These people are so dirty, so petty. No. They have not done these things out of ignorance or out of a mistake. They have done it deliberately. And you have won a very big victory by forcing them to cancel the thing. Regularization. But they are never going to requisition into the APS. Now, because I believe that the rumors floating around that every one of these 147 paid a certain amount of money. No. So whoever took the money has to give these people time to recover their money. No. So the only, in spite of my disappointments in the judiciary, the only option is to get the courts to intervene and force them to requisition these posts. Since they can regularize them, why can't they requisition the posts? They cannot say that these are sanctioned posts, non-sanctioned posts, nothing like that. So that's my take. No. And regarding NPSC, see, interviews are very subjective. Now, my brother, when he appeared, the interview in 1982, even their tribalism was very prevalent. So he got into an argument with one of the members of the NPSC, and the chairman, who was a Sikh gentleman, he intervened and told that member, that we are not here to question his knowledge of the subject. That has already been done in the written thing, as he said earlier. We're just here to test his personality. So things like that. I don't think any of you people didn't bother to read my manifesto when I contested the elections. But in my manifesto, I wrote clearly that in every competitive exam, the candidate will have the right to compare his written answer script with those of others, and every interview will be video recorded. See, one of my young lady friends, she appeared in the social welfare team for, not for regular job, but for contracting. They just asked her name and sent her on the way. And in fact, she was told in advance, no point trying for it. It's already been demolished. So things like that, you have to understand. But as I said earlier, I believe our only recourse is legal. So, well, if any of you know anybody in the legal fraternity who is willing to pick up this case, I also tried contacting some people. I'm in the process to talk on the phone, and that is the only hope. Because these people I don't trust.
I think we have got a lot of trust deficits here. Some not trusting the NPSCs. I think the last resort for this conversation would be going to the court, as Mr. Godojishi mentioned. I think as we keep having a conversation, I would like to remind you that in the end we will have a question and answer hour. So if you have any thoughts, or not necessarily questions, but if you have any thoughts that you want to share or ask, please be ready with that. So we will give you time for that.
So you asked me to speak of body. I've been there. We were quite a number of young Nana people also. So what I said was, Nagaland, when you look at Nagaland from the outside, we have so many tribes. We seem to be divided in many ways, but among the common people, we don't have tribes. Okay, we accept inter-tribe marriage, all that. It is only when we reach the upper levels that tribalism manifests itself. Why? Because our leaders, you have to understand this, okay? Our leaders, they use tribalism to deprive us of our rights. Among them, they have got a very good system, give and take. There is no tribalism among them also. But they create tribalism among us. And I said, in a normal society, there is the government of the day, there is the civil societies, the church, the organized criminal element, and the media. Now, our churches, our government, our civil societies are all corrupt. Our underground factions have become the organized criminal element in Nagaland. There's no mafia, but we have multiple mafias in the form of our NNPGs. And our media has become silenced, threatened, or co-opted. So when I said that, all the Nagas, they clapped because they understood. And this is what is happening. We have to understand that we are no longer in the headhunting stage. That we don't have to fear other villagers, people from other villages, people from other clans, people from other tribes. We have to put our faith in the law of the land, not in our tribal bodies or in our village. You'll come to Dimapur and you will see the amount of unions, the amount of village bodies, the amount of churches. It is shocking. And then we talk about government corruption, we talk about underground extortion, we don't talk about the extortion of the churches. The churches are equally corrupt. So we don't have any moral compass. We have lost the moral compass. We don't know what is right, what is wrong. Now, where does this originate from? The origin is in our choice of our leaders. The reason I entered politics was because of this. I understood that the cause of all these problems is our elected leaders. As I said last time in my address to you when you were protesting, I'm a private person. I don't like to go around. You may not believe me when you see me speaking like this, but there was a time when I could not stand in front of people and even open my mouth. But I have become what I am because of the need of the hour. I contested because I understood that this is the root of our problem. There's nobody to fight with them on a platform. All I asked was a platform where they cannot ignore me. They ignore me. Everybody ignores me, okay? I am never invited to any talks. I'm never invited to participate in any discussion on any issue. I once asked one of the members of the Nagaland GB Federation to take me. When the state government invited all these organizations to discuss the thing, municipal election, women's reservation and all that. So that elder, he's an elder to me, he said, Ari, don't you trust me? I said, no, I trust you, but I know you. You will go to Kohima, you will just sit silently while these people say whatever they want. You will come back and they will take your silence as consent. He agreed to take me, but again, I was not informed, I was not thinking, and I'm not the sort of person to press my thing, myself on others. No? So he didn't inform me, I didn't even inquire. But later on I found out that a leader of a certain underground faction told him not to take me. See, this is how things work in Nagaland. We're discussing the municipal act, and some underground faction is interfering there because I don't support this faction. Now the church also, the theologians, they hate me. Why? Because I point out what they're doing wrong. No? So you have to understand that there's a saying, no? You may not be interested in politics, but politics is interested in you. So you have to understand that next time, when you get the opportunity, in any field, in any election, I mean, you have to stand for election. Because I understand, you don't have the choice also. This time, Kohima people, they had national card choice. I gave them a choice in Dimapur. But the rest, maybe Gewang, Konyak, in Mon, 3 of us. But the rest, 57, there was no choice. So you have to be willing to stand for election. It doesn't matter whether you have money or not. Give people a choice. Don't give them the excuse of saying that we had no choice. So that is my contribution.
May I take this opportunity? The CTAN and NNQF have started, that's all of you, have started a very big movement. You got victory, but that's just half the journey. The 147 posts have not yet been requisitioned. But it is our silence that has been encouraging corruption over the years, over the decades in Nagaland. And Nagaland is one of the smallest states in India, probably is one of the most corrupt. It's because we have elected those kind of leaders. But this movement, through this protest, was a start. Now we see so many young people here. Uncle Nikitu had already mentioned it. Mr. Kauto has already talked of corruption. I can see this movement growing bigger, maybe in the days to come. T-Square China, it was the students who revolted against the government. Of course, they were massacred. But they showed the world what students' power is. Aspirants, you have your students behind you, you have students behind you, you yourself, some of you yourselves are still students. So it's really heartwarming to see so many, but we hope to see this movement growing up in huge proportions, not allowing our government to continue its old ways. We'd like to see a clean, of course, we cannot expect a 100% clean government anywhere. There's corruption everywhere. But we'd like to see a clean government. We'd like to see our state progress. And this can happen only through higher education. Thank you.
When the protests were going on, I saw it in media, and thanks to all the media partners, they did quite well. But I started to think, what has happened to our civil societies? And then when somebody is fighting for the right thing, then civil societies and the churches, what happened? That question came to my mind. And when I said this reminds me of one of our great friends in Shillong. He said, the people are not progressing because most of the bureaucrats or most of the people, they build buildings. but they don't build people. You know. Even for the churches, today I see, I'm sorry, I'm going to attack the churches, like my friend here. He has. You see, I know one person, well-to-do and very, very smart, very, very good orator. He can articulate very well, beautifully, and one of the richest officers. But we know that he isn't from a very good background, I mean financially, what his father was. But this is the person who donated so much money, and then who can approach any minister to donate money, who can collect so much of money. The same person, one day he was the preacher in the church. No, that drama I didn't like. Because the congregation knows that he's a thief. Those who are listening to me, those who came there, they know that he is a thief. His pastor also knows. All the pastors and deacons, they know that he's a thief. Forget about other things. His wife and children, those who are sitting there, they also know that, okay, he's a thief. No? And now he's there knowing that fully well how much he has stolen from the poor people. He is preaching. I think God also may know that he's a thief. No. But we want the church also to do the right thing. Instead of only building the churches. Those buildings are buildings. The real church is us. We are the real church. The people are the real church, not the building. So I hope that the churches also will come and support CTN and NQF.
Okay, this 147 itself is a violation of right to equal opportunity in public employment. This itself is a violation of the Article 16. Now what I want to say is, when the Nagaland government does not follow its own rules, which they have made, how can you expect the NLA to respect the Constitution of India? No way. And requisition la parte, I won't agree with our Sir GB. Because by any means it has to go. Requisition jaan ay bole to department no tai nijo la galti. Na man chucha bhule na lo. Requisition to jaw lage. Or for us to, of course, Sir Mangi morom gana kwasi we don't have money for court case so. Aro court case jaisi bole government ki court case khili bole se man hari bole bishi chance aso to. Aro kiman sal prolong gana jai debu. Already our Sir GT Thong has already stated that lack of teachers as a sub colleges there. So itu court case kuri thekisila kiman sal jao. So requisition to G uli jao. Aro kwan we have the evidence with us. Of course 100% evidence na uli utu din dikhiso dostukua. Earlier to see the minister lied to us 2 times. Mangi convince ko siya alok din kidi man revoke tul diu na diber jukaji mangi to ito to bisas na ita gido personally lok paisi na aro revoke kuri diu ina ko si uli kure na uli man continue protest ko they were compelled to revoke. Now why we are saying that requisition has to go, if there is a post creation, that also for the post of assistant professors. If I'm not mistaken, assistant professors can la salary do EAC, DSP and UPC so. Moi galti so moi correct kuri. To inala post to kali actually the number of posts was 151. Will be 147 though it became popular by himself. And even our minister, he started calling himself 147 to kick Rona. Tiny Joe work was it though. Now requisition has to go. Why we are saying this is earlier the department and the department officials and the ministers were claiming that 151 posts were specially created for those 151 very special people. Okay, that is what they claimed. So, according to them, if that order is revoked, 151 posts is also dissolved, gone in Aguasudo. They were saying that there is no post creation. Only as per the RTI, they are slowly admitting to their mistake. Atta post creation was RTI replies at the Atta post. Kitya, take to regularize Kurela Dinde, 17 December 2024. Itu Dinde Atta create Grisha. Ututinde Tangi regular version on 147 gay. Ututinde Atta post creation, that is what they are saying. 8 posts. But what we saw when we had a meeting with the minister, he was showing me a copy. I requested him whether I can click the picture or not. Only he didn't allow though. So what I found was there was a post creation of 129 posts. 129 posts. And after that, when we had a meeting with the Deputy Chief Minister also, Deputy Chief Minister and KG Kine meeting with them, ex-official director with Tangshe. So when we said that we saw a letter, 129 post creation like Tikishe, our Deputy CM asked the ex-official director, she admitted, she agreed. So it has to go to NPSC. But we don't know what we will do. Of course, man, Janatang fight to Nakilo. But still then we will not keep quiet. Requisition has to go.
The very idea of filing a court case against the backdoor appointment and the protest was the mode of recruitment, and that is because it deprived many people of their right to equal opportunity. Now here, when we talk about right to equal opportunity, it's not just about when they, when they recruited those contractual employees. Many advertisements did not come out. So in the process, in those years, people whose subject were not advertised, they became overaged. There were many people who became overaged, and subjects like philosophy, anthropology, they rarely come out. So even if that is, appointed through backdoor or contractual and regularized, then it's not just a deprivation of the right to equal opportunity, but it's also a violation of the rights of the aspirants. Now, if they don't requisition, they've already violated the rights of so many people who have become overaged. But now, if they fail to requisition these posts, they are going to continue violating the rights of the present generation aspirants.
Earlier when I talked about court case, I mean somebody do it for free. I'm not saying that we should pay them, because I understand, that this thing. When I approached the Supreme Court also for the BGP case, I went begging around until somebody did it for free. So that's what I'm saying. I'm not expecting you to spend money. Just a clarification.
Yeah, regarding going to the court, the thing is that once the matter becomes sub judice, then we cannot protest also. And then we don't know when the court will bring its verdict. So I think it's quite risky. Once the matter goes to the court, then for us it's no use of sitting and discussing. So we will not have any more thing to discuss about it.
Actually, see this. It was a very big success. I said it's only 50%. You managed to get the government to revoke a very bad case. And if the government doesn't requisition these posts to the NPSC, I think the CTN and NNQF should protest again. And maybe this time you might get more supporters, because maybe I'm seeing the number of people growing. Everybody is fed up with the antics of the government. So think of a protest. It's a democratic form, it's a democratic right. It's nothing against democracy.
Thank you. Those are very important points of views and practical suggestions as well. I think when we share ideas and interact with one another, normally we think that court case would be the best solution, where you can fight in the court. But here are other opposing views that, when you take up such issues in the court, definitely the movement can die down and it can die a natural death. there's high chance for that as well, right? So, I mean, that will be decided by the leader, NNQF and the sit-down leadership, but the reason for this conversation is to see what can be done best, and I'm sure we're getting the hints of what will be the most practical steps at this moment. Do you also imagine or visualize any other solution in case requisition does not happen? Because you have no trust with government machinery at this point of time at all. So imagining that the requisition does not happen at all, despite the silent and the peaceful protest that you have been holding, and they would not listen. So can it go on like this forever without any time limit? So that, just to complete my point, that would be same as fighting the case in the court, because we're scared that if you start fighting the case in the court, the time will be gone, and students who need to be taught will always lose their time. But if the protest also keeps on going like this without listening to one another, will it be the same? That's something, let's give a thought on that.
Yeah, by any means, since the movement has started, so by any means, the requisition has to be done. That is one thing. But even if requisition is done, doesn't mean that the battle ends there. The battle the war will still continue. So the government also should know that yes, they saw the sentiments, the emotions of the people, of the children. That time we saw leaders telling them, "Oh, you please go home. Jai Jabe, Jai Jabe." No, we will not go, we will not go. The anger did not still come out. But the government should not provoke the anger of the youngsters.
I'm sure we can spend a lot of time interacting with one another. So I think we can just open the, platform for question and answer hour. Just feel free to share your views, even just ask questions to our panels. I think we have microphones there, right? Yeah, he will pass around the microphone, and if there's anyone who has written down their question on a sheet of paper, we'll just I'll just read out, and I'll give time to any one of you to respond. And let's make it quick, crisp, and to the point, right? We are getting obsessed with the problem. Let's think about the solution from here now. Factoring the turn of events that occurred since the sit-in and NQF protest till date, there are three questions now. What do we expect from the government? And why, second question, why have mainstream civil society organizations turned a blind eye? And third question, why did the church remain silent? We can be careful about church as well. We cannot just paint umbrella term of the church as well. Yes, of course, there are churches that really support. There are churches that are not really supporting as well. But yeah, let's deal on that question.
What was the first thing? Okay, let me have a look. Okay, as I said earlier, I don't expect anything from the government. No, it's a fact. Then second is, why have mainstream civil society organizations turned a blind eye? I don't know if my friend Mr. Robert will recall when we met Governor Ravi for the last time. So I was telling our governor that we don't give too much importance to civil societies, especially the tribal bodies, because these people are puppets of the politicians and the bureaucrats. Then I asked Robert, what about your EPO? Then he said, EPO says you be president, you be not that. Just in a humorous way. So that is why our civil societies have remained silent. Because they owe their positions to these people in power who you are fighting against. And regarding why did the church remain silent? The church is always silent. My nephew, he's a principal of one of our leading theological colleges, and in his presence, we were discussing something that I said, don't mistake the church for God. Okay, we tend to think that talking ill of the church or the theologians will somehow bring the wrath of God upon us. The last time Mr. Lunglen and I, we had an interaction on his show. Somebody told me that somebody is writing something. We had it more than 1 month back, but anyway, somebody was still writing something. I went, and somebody had written that I will be cursed or something like that because I speak out against theologians. So, we have to understand, we have to pressure our churches. They are the moral compass. That is the duty of the church. It is not to preach on Sundays. I tell my villagers, hey, God is not going to take attendance. He's not going to count how many Sundays you've attended church. He's not going to see how long you pray, how beautifully you sing. He's going to judge you by your deeds. So, it's high time we understood that all these are part of each other. They have a symbiotic relationship of corruption. And that is why we have 20, okay, now 4 of them have merged. So we have around 22 freedom fighting groups. Can you imagine? And all of them are connected. During the ULP elections in Dimapur, when I was interviewed, I told them, okay, you vote for whoever you want, but don't vote for anyone connected with the undergrounds. I think more than half of them are connected with the undergrounds. Don't vote for anyone who's connected with corrupt officials. The remaining half are connected with, I think, corrupt officials. So, this is what we have to understand. We should not hold anything, expectation, false expectation on others. It is down to you. You decide. And my suggestion was the legal route. But if you have to go to the thing, protest, I will stand by you. And you have to understand, each and every one of you must stand and be counted. Nobody else is going to help you of their own volition. You have to force them. So, God willing, if you protest loudly and well enough, you will force the government or the churches or the civil societies to back you.
Thank you. I'm sure everyone will have opinion on that, but I think, as far as the question is concerned, let's just move on with other question when one panelist responds to that question, right?
Can I just respond? Yeah. I would like to take an opposing view. Here, I would like to state that I think the church has not been silent. They have been quietly moving. I would like to be of that view. Of course, as an organization, they have not been loud enough, but I think they have played their role in, influencing us morally. The fact that we're here fighting for justice. Maybe we remember that there was a time when there was a sermon call to stand up for justice, and when we raised our hands, they've been praying for us. So maybe that commitment also plays a part, and also the fact that there has been sermons in church, individual sermons where they have openly preached for justice, after the protests, citing our protests. And also, there have been contractual employees, who have withdrawn their appointments, and I feel that that is also a moral influence played by the church and their families. So I would say that the church is not silent; it is quietly moving, but we would, of course, welcome them to be louder.
Yeah. Okay.
This thought just came to me. The NSF and the various student bodies were also fighting for the same cause. And then QF and the CTAN were also doing the same thing, of course. And then QF and the CTAN came out openly and started this in a big way. But the NSF also was from behind the scenes doing the same thing. So just wondering, maybe there's some case of dynamics, internal dynamics. This couldn't work out. But it would have been such a more powerful body if you all were together. It's just a thought. Okay. And if, I don't know, maybe there's some internal dynamics. But if there's nothing like that, I think, it's not a bad idea to have a mediator working between, so that pressure comes together from a bigger group. But I'm leaving it to you because you know what's happening inside. I don't know anything.
I mean, those are good insights. Yeah, we'll leave that to the NNQF, NSF, and all these leaders. Now, the second question is, when our higher education minister said, backdoor be khatam, window be khatam, ceiling para ahi boli be khatam, how can 5 candidates enter the service in 2025 without even screening as contract teachers getting regularized freely? Does anyone have any answer to that? 5 candidates getting regularized.
Mane, the 5 people were in the list.
No, there is no. It says 5 people getting recruited and getting regular. Getting recruited as a contract worker.
That is the level of corruption in our state, na. The moi coalition, moi puthak bili the hotai lawmakers, minister, MLA, and you blame Bridge. Uli upai na iwa moi gini coalition. Ini level in as mala corruption. The rules to tani banao, they make the rule, they don't follow the rule. Kita to sabi nijola ina opore face kuna tuk marna nijola face te gire ni sina zetam. Really, but we have to give an end to this, na. We have to know how to raise our voice.
Someone saying that there are 5 candidates whose names have not been revealed. Yeah, that's a news that we have also heard. So we filed the RTI again recently, but even in that RTI, those names have not come out. So it's a very suspicious matter. Yeah, but we're going to press forward on that.
Thank you. And second question is, after so many years of attaining statehood, why there is rampant corruption in Nagaland? Those sitting ministers and MLAs are well educated about unemployment scenario and are well-spoken people in public. Are they hypocrites? Are they deliberately doing it?
Yeah. Let us accept the fact that we are also a very, very young society who doesn't know how to handle the situation. That is why, to start something new, we wanted to have a dialogue with the government officials, those policymakers. Because this system, for this, you see, we cannot point at one person. We have reached a point where we cannot say that I am not guilty just because I am not there in the government office. We are also all guilty. Today, if they come and have a good discussion, then maybe we would have learned a lot from them. Yes, no doubt, so much of corruption, and then this has been normalized, not since yesterday or today, since many, many years ago. No? So, we will start putting things right by righting the wrong. Aru itu issue there, in this issue, where we went, I think we will go to the bottom of it. At least one case. There, now, many a time, we have fought many beautiful battles, and after achieving certain things, we go, and then we start to whisper in a closed door with the bureaucrats, and with that, the matter ends. But this should not happen. We will go till the end, to the bottom. Then only, I think, we can really bring a change.
Thank you. And the next question is, the education minister is not qualified enough to be the education minister, and with all hopes lost from the NBSC to bring any justice, can Nagaland University, the only central university, intervene in any way? I think Professor GT Thong would be the right person to answer this.
Now the university has a mandate. Every central university is autonomous. All universities are supposed to be autonomous, but central universities have full autonomy, except those in Delhi and those places. They have their problems with the government. So we recruit. Not me. I'm a retired man. The Nagaland University recruits its own faculties and own staff. It's not given, the UPSC does not conduct any interviews except for the union territories. But I don't think the university will have mandate to conduct interviews for or intervene in this matter. But see, because I'm here, I was here in the Nagaland University for the last 28 years. The NPSC never invited me for any work. And then many of my friends also say, what's the NPSC doing? They don't want our services. But it's up to them because they have an agenda. So I don't know. I don't think the university can intervene in any way because that's totally autonomous. This is Nagaland government. But we can discuss this, see if anything is happening. Because one good thing is that for this NIMSA, the medical college in Kohima, because that medical college is affiliated to the Nagaland University, I was deputed as a member of the interview board. So there we ensured that everything is very clean. Only the best got in. But if the government puts it into the policy for the Public Service Commission, that there should be a nominee from the Nagaland University, that is one way. So one good member from the Nagaland University can clean up, will not permit open corruption.
Thanks. Next question is, could AI conducted interviews be a game changer? It might offer benefits like reduced bias, standard evaluation, and increased efficiency. Has anyone ever used AI? No. I think I regularly use AI, so maybe I can just share a few thoughts. AI, when it's not handled by human, AI cannot do the work alone. So the subjectivity of this, subjective interpretation of the AI information will, at the end of the day, come down to human hands again. So I think that's the system we all are fighting for. So AI cannot do the things alone, right? And it's not, I think our our officials who are part of the recruitment, it's not that they cannot carry out objective analysis of or evaluation. It's just that there is an influence from somewhere or the other. So at the end of the day, that cannot be delivered. I think everyone is well qualified, I believe. It's just that there are forces that are not allowing people to be objective at this stage, at this point of time. But AI can help for sure, but to what extent without human interference? And politics is all about human beings. And AI cannot just come and conquer us and do the things. I mean, that will be my opinion, right? You have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely, maybe not AI, but we have been discussing about the interviews that are conducted, maybe they can be aired, they can be shown to the public how the interview goes in order to maintain some accountability and transparency, Maybe we could use technology that way.
Thank you. There's one more question. Should not the API score academic performance indicator as per UCC be included as one of the key evaluation criteria in fair recruitment processes? Just anyone can take up the question. API.
This API is for promotion of teachers. I don't think it should come into the recruitment process.
Okay.
Acha, I skipped one bit, the first question of the last question there. The qualification of the Minister for Higher Education, Mr. Im Na Long. In fact, I was, especially when I heard our GB, Mr. Kauto Chishi was in Kohima with all of you during your protest, I wished even I were there. But I was bedridden. But then I thought maybe I should also, maybe contribute to society by penning an article. So there in my article, probably it was the second article, there I had mentioned that the government should replace the minister by a highly qualified person, a qualified person should come as Minister for Higher Education. We're dealing with higher education. We cannot afford to have somebody without any qualifications come and guide the department. You look at some foreign countries like New Zealand, Australia, and some places. The health minister is a doctor. The education minister is a retired or a professor. So, see, we have these kind of people who run their countries. That's why their countries are so successful. If we go by whims and fancies and by party pressure, Nagaland will collapse. But at least let's not allow higher education to collapse. All of you, we are, Mr. Kahoto has already assured you of his support. You have support of the KTB, and maybe I'll also join the fray. We can gather a lot of people who can support you. We will support you. But we need to see you stand up first.
Next question. Why does this corruption occur? Article 32, Constitutional Remedies. Suomoto. I mean, I'm sure the question is like, why can't the court take this as a Suomoto case, right? So, maybe, yeah, GP Kahoto.
See, in life, it's all a question of accountability. Okay? So India has become so corrupt because there is no accountability. It is not Nagaland alone. See, in China, you may insult China as much as you want. You may talk bad about it. But when they catch government officials, corrupt government officials, they shoot them. But here in India, you see the corrupt are enjoying life. So the Nagas, I keep saying this, Nagas have learned the worst of the Indians, but nothing, because they have very good aspects of Indians also, but none of them good. Okay, traffic rules also we don't follow. Look at Mizoram. Look at Nagaland, especially Dimapur. Look at our thing, as we said earlier, churches also only offices, everybody wants to build houses, are underground factions. I am the first and only person who has called them financial freedom fighters. Yeah, yes, it's in my articles, no? I came across one Facebook, YouTube video of a beautiful place somewhere in Mon district, okay? You have all these lakes and islands sort of thing, and then in the comments somebody said, the owner is the leader of some underground faction. Our church leaders also. Our person was telling me about their pastor demanding a Scorpio. I said, hey, you're still behind us. We have moved to Innovas. No, this has become our way of life because there's no accountability. We have become hypocrites because nobody calls them out. In my last interview with Mr. Lunglen, we talked about people having issue with the way I say things. Well, I call them out. I call them thieves to their face. When I was on Northeast Live, Mr. Wasbir Hussain was very upset because I said, Rio's a liar. No, but unless we call these people out, they will be hypocrites. They will think that they're getting away with it. But when you call them out, shame is a very powerful human emotion. You have to shame them into doing good things if you cannot punish them. So Indian law is very lax, but at least we can shame them. No. I keep trying to tell the theologians that accept money from any source. It's okay. Whether he's a drug peddler or a bootlegger, a prostitute, a thief, accept his money. But don't give him importance in the church. Now, when you start giving importance to people who donate the most, not on their character, then you're supporting corruption. So things like this, no? Accountability, and where there's no accountability, we have to shame them. So that's my take. This is why corruption is so prevalent, not only in Nagaland, but across India.
Thank you. The next question is, such movements, is it properly nurturing the idea of an individual/citizen? And how far have we come as an individual? Yeah, this is a little vague question actually. Such movements, is it properly nurturing the idea of an individual/citizen? Is the movement properly nurturing the idea of an individual? And how far have we come as an individual? So I think, come as an individual. I cannot explain further because I'm reading out the word. Right. Maybe we can think about it and we'll jump to the next question. Where is the place of truth and justice in Nagaland, which is Naga society? As concerned citizens, what can we do? Or our responsibility is to mitigate corruption in Nagaland. Third question is, how can we make our democratic institutions more accountable on the questions of accountability? So the first question, where is the place of truth and justice in Nagaland? Someone can take that and I'll repeat the next question. Yeah, please go ahead.
So
that's an earlier question.
I think by such movements, I think you mean the movement that we are currently eating, no? Such movements, no? Are they properly nurturing the idea of an individual citizen? Yes. Because it is teaching us the duties of an individual or a citizen. As an individual, as a citizen, it is your duty to stand up in a fight for justice. Nothing comes free in life. You have to fight for it or you will lose it. So that is one. And then how far have we come as an individual? No, see here too, we have not progressed as individuals or as a society. We're just starting.
I think is there anyone who wants to ask a question? Yeah, please. Here we have a lady.
Hello, yeah. I am Kekre from HornbillTV, and we've also been covering for the assistant professors, the C10 and NNQF. I have one question. When you were speaking about court, going to the court as well, one statement by the convener, the president of C10, was that financial constraints, because of the financial constraints, you may not be able to take it to court. However, when the previous time, I think you also mentioned about fighting a lot of corruption even in other departments as well. So do you think it will be practical to fight against corruption in other departments as well without being able to take it to the court? Do you think you will be able to find justice just like you did this time? Obviously, the requisition is still impending. However, in the long run, without going to court or with financial constraints, do you think it will be practical to fight for justice, especially for the youths?
It is through representations, memorandums, protests, we were able to bring about NSSB, Nagaland Staff Selection Board, Lokayukta, reduction of interview marks. Now, earlier, the NPC does not give the marks after the result, but now after pressuring them, now they give the marks of the individual one. Supposing if I appear exam, I can write to the NPC, I can see my marks, my individual marks, of course not the others. So all those are achieved through representations, agitations and all. Or we were able to terminate backdoor appointments in many of the departments. Still there are some pending. We have given some deadline to some departments, which we will be mentioning whenever required, but I won't say the name of the department today because tonight they may become restless. So, and when it comes to court case, of course, maybe there may be some cases where we need to go to court. But as far as the CTN is concerned, we have never gone to court. because we believe in democracy na. Or my court keep bisas na kuri to kono hai. Believe ni true democratically kurisi believe corruption do alok to hatau pare. That's what we believe, and that is the way we deal with the corruption in Nagaland.
Maybe we can take one last question. Or yeah, do we have any? Just next to you. Strong communication gap.
Thank you for the organizers for putting on such a wonderful discussion. I think throughout the period of the past couple of hours, we've really spoken about the failure of a lot of our institutions, especially in terms of corruption. But I was wondering, what are some shining beacons of hope in institutions that you see that work with integrity and honor that the young people can look up to? I'll repeat that one more time. So we've discussed a lot about the failures of our institutions, whether it be civil or government. We even mentioned church, right? But in your opinion, what are some shining examples of our institutions that work with integrity and honor that the young people can look up to?
That's a very relevant question, but I see no such institution. No. See, people always say that I'm always negative, I always criticize. I always ask them, so show me an example. So now it is for you to build up institutions and organizations which people can trust. No, it's a fact. So that's the simple, short answer.
Thank you, Mr. Longland. And it's a pleasure to be with you all today. My name is Vimeza. I'm from VMZ Naga Podcast. My question to our honorable speakers on the dais is, do you think, hand in hand with our Naga Mothers Association and the Naga Students Federation, living our differences aside, do you think a movement with them together can take us closer to our goal? Because our civil society should not just focus on Naga national movement. Naga Mothers Association do khali underground khalanga mas nagi engineer doctor kura khalanga ma no hai, student khalanga ma bo no hai. So I think do you think a movement with our civil society will help us achieve our goal? Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much for the question. To club with them, I think there is no question of clubbing. Once they do the right thing, then we also will join them and then we will become their follower. No, if they do the right thing. The reason why these two organizations, because the apex bodies, they are not doing what they are supposed to do. No, once they do the right thing, then we also can dissolve even these two organizations and join them. No, and but our apex bodies, I'm sorry to say this, but you know, yeah, you can call me Mr. Negative. Today I'm very negative, but I cannot understand. You see, the undergrounds, they are praying and fasting. No. The churches, they are catching alcohol and so on. No. Then the students' union, they are fighting for our freedom. Our freedom. No. Then, I mean, had the students' union, they fought for our students, then definitely we are going to support them. We are going to work with them. But if they are to say that, okay, our constitution is like this, we also will address this and that, and then ignore the very basic things which they need to do, then we cannot work with them. So let it be. And then even NMA also, if they are to address this issue seriously, then we are their follower. We will work with them.
You have got answers to all your questions. We have sat here for quite a long time, and I truly appreciate your patience. Sure.
I forgot one name. When I talked of Mr. K.K. Sema, Mr. Kahoto Chishi, even Engineer Meshano had contested. But on social media, they were praised as our heroes. But we did not vote for justice. I forgot his name, so just for that.
When election was, those things were going on, one of his own very close to, the one who is very close to him said, I want Kahuto in the assembly because he is going to bark like a mad dog. Then I said, no, he's going to roar like a lion. Even if everyone goes away, Kahuto, he will just sit alone and then he will just keep on fighting and speaking the truth and fight for us. That is what I have to, that was my response to him. And then even a person like Engineer Meshenlo, you know, if one of them enters the assembly, then they are going to make a very big difference and then they are going to be the biggest thorn in the flesh of our other politicians.
Yeah, I feel I should say a word. You mentioned Naga Mothers Association because I worked with them when they set up the Mount Gilead home many years ago, 1989. And to say that they are very, very burdened women because you have to run the whole family and they have very little time. They are stretched beyond their capacity to carry things. Not public issues, big things they take up. But the family burdens are so great because the children are going through very difficult questions, facing very difficult questions. A lot of the husband, I think it's fair to say, not do it properly, their jobs. So they have had to fight on issues that are very big, but they have made a mark on our people's imagination as mothers. And so I want to say that they should be understood and appreciated for the role they have played, and they will, anything that goes wrong directly, they will take it up. But they are very overburdened people, members of our society. Thank you.
Now, audience, it's your turn. Our panelists, we're done. Now it's time for suggestions from audience, like how, for any suggestions or any feedback on how to go about the upcoming step for the upcoming steps. So this is a request from the organizers that feel free to share if you have any suggestions, any feedback on how you would like to suggest for this movement to take forward.
My question is, moving forward, is this association between the CTAN and the NNQF going to be confined to just this issue of the 147? Or is it going to be a part of a larger movement where a lot of people have reposed their faith in you, keeping in mind the credibility and the caliber with which you have been leading this movement? So my question is, just at a juncture when the Naga youths, particularly the young people, when they see a glimmer of hope, of transparency, of meritocracy, and of fair recruitment and true open competition, when they are reposing their faith in you, once we get to the question of the 147, whether it is sent for requisition, or it takes a lot of time, or it is not sent, but what about the future of this movement, which you have started? So this question I would like to put up to our two very esteemed leaders, Engineer Meshenlo and Dr. Videkono. And I believe that this can be start of, it is already starting a very big chain reaction. And I truly feel that it should not be just confined to this 147th. If we truly want to see change in our society, then like it has been said, we need to be the change we want to see in our society. But in order to do that, we also need someone to guide us. And I think CTAN and NNQF has been doing a fantastic job in doing that. And so moving forward, I would like to know your plans for the youth of our state. Thank you.
Thank you for the question. Acha sir, see, what we do is we have taken up issues in many departments. I should say this is not the first time we have taken up issues. So after this issue also, there are some departments where we have filed RTI, or there are some departments where we have given them a deadline of 30 days, which did not come out in public. So I have said this in some of the places also. If we are only very confined with this department, people may think that I'm having some grudges, or our leaders are having some grudges against the department officials or against the ministers. This is what we have been doing since the beginning, and we will continue to do this. There are so many pending issues, like we have issues in social welfare, legal metrology. I'm talking about the departments where we are taking up the issues. Health and Family Welfare Department is there. And taking this platform, I would like to remind the Naga Hospital Authority also. Now see, the other day also, when regarding this 147, I'm mentally being so much disturbed, okay, honestly saying. Naga people are so lazy, I just want to say, since they have my number, they think that I'm also very free like them. Unnecessary, they will give me. Now I love to take suggestions. Okay, out of topic, I'm also an individual. I'm a human. I have only one brain. You don't expect me to act like a machine. I'm 24 hours active. Why only this department? Why not checking this? Why I am Instagram text to me? Honestly, we are also doing our best to at least clean up itu department and later on the pekaul munaso. Aro moi ita kwatam de pauri jisi sado. Ekdimi yate tik Naga hospital de na Oki hospital de lok paisi manu ekjon mang khushiwa ka apne am bal kam gurisi guna kwaso ki usi usile tala baba ke Oki hospital ane se osol do tai do. He is admitted in Naga hospital, okay? So why is he bringing his father to Oking hospital? Because there is no CT scan down there. Bujes na? CT scan, the excuse that the Naga hospital authority is giving is saman chor hoye buse. Saman chor hoye when CT scan no 2-3 years biya was ni. Now what we are trying to say, the name itself, Combined Technical Association of Nagaland ase. Actually we are to be confined only with technical. We deal with any department which is not functioning properly, or if necessary, Naga hospital give a look din takile do check kuru do. And what I heard is ICU la dam do private kan hospital and give it tamase kile. They have given it to some private individuals. ICU government la do cheap hole again hoye. See, that is happening in our state. Out of emotion, Inaga cases can be, we will continue to take up Jani Desi. Thank you.
I would also like to respond to that. As a team, we have been a very good team working together, NNQF 10, and I thank you for reminding us that that we have the public support. As long as we have the public support, we will take up issues, particularly with this public dialogue. If this is successful, maybe in the next we will take up another issue to discuss. But for other issues, there are certain issues that CTAN handles differently and NQF handles differently. If they invite us to collaborate with them, we will surely do that, and we will also, maybe there are issues where we will ask them to collaborate. So it will depend on that. But say this public dialogue, maybe we will continue to take it forward for other issues as well. Yeah.
Hello. Actually, it's a question. I don't have a feedback. The platform was given, so I just wanted to ask a question. So my question is that being an opposition-less state, our state, we don't have like the government is not even serious and not taking up proper administration in whatever field. Like I would like to give some example, like small project like in Unity Gate in Chumuk Kitima. It is written, "Welcome to Hills of Nagaland." It's written only to hills. They didn't even put there. So it reflects our government that they are not serious, even from the smallest step. So big projects like not setting up forensic lab or building high court, all these have been coming up and it's been neglected, especially by the government. So what should we as a society do, and what like the measures should we do? That's my question. Thank you.
I think it goes back to what I said originally and what Engineer Mission Lord said right now. There are so many issues, and we cannot always hope that somebody else will take it up. So we have to stand up with anyone who takes up any issue. Okay, when this 147, when you were agitating, one YouTuber from Moon District, he called me up and he said, "Ari, this is only for 147 people, whereas my issues are for villages across Nagaland." So in one way, he had a valid point. So this we must understand. If we are to change society, the change begins with you. You have to stand up. And we need a total rebuild of all our institutions. Like government institutions, we cannot change. But when we change the civil institutions, like the churches, our civil societies, then it affects the government institutions.